Good morning, everybody, and it's another cooking demo with the Lebanon Senior Center. With Easter so close, I thought we might talk about the star of many a young family's Easter celebration, the incredible egg. Of course, a lot of families are out getting the plain white ones right now, so they can dye them and decorate them for Easter. Of course, maybe we don't do that so much when we get older. And if you've ever grown up on the farm, you might be used to the eggs that come pre-dyed for you. These came to me from my mom, and they have a variety of chickens out at their place. So, I mean, you can get your choice of these little bitty brown ones. You can get these big large white ones that are kind of speckly. There's even some of the big brown ones. And of course, we always enjoy these lovely kind of blue-green ones that are a lot of fun. All of these are chicken eggs, and their chickens are quite prolific. They treat them well. And as we talk about eggs, of course, they're one of the most versatile things in our kitchen. We use them in baking, we use them in cooking, we use them for main dishes and side dishes and all kinds of fun things in the kitchen. So today we're going to talk about them a couple of ways. In my sink, I do have some that I hard boiled, and we'll get to hard boiled eggs in just a little bit. First, we're going to talk about an egg dish that you can do. A lot of people think of it as brunch or breakfast. I eat it for dinner. I mean, I can do this any time of day. So we're going to make a strata. If you don't know what a strata is, it's kind of like a crustless quiche. So there's quite a few eggs in it that are used to bring other ingredients together. It's a baked egg dish, and it's very versatile. You can put all kinds of things in the strata. It depends what you like to put in your strata. So we are going to start with my little secret. I like them a little bit fluffier. Some people like their stratas really dense, so they'll just use egg with a splash of milk. I like to get some heavy whipping cream, about 1/4 of a cup, and whip it to, until I get a really good arm workout. Let's just admit it. And so you get the kind of a fluffy look, like I was making whipped cream. That's what it looks like. I'm ready for some strawberries. But we didn't put sugar in it. It's just the whipped cream that I whipped to kind of soft peaks. And then I'm going to take in and pour into that. I think I've got about 7 eggs here. It might sound like a lot. You're like, whoa, I won't eat that many. Well, the fun thing about this is I will make one, and then I will cut it up and individually wrap them, and then I've got, breakfast all week long. Or I've got, something I can share with a guest, and then I've got leftovers. So I'm just gonna gently blend together those eggs that I lightly whisked together, along with this fluffy whipped cream. Just kind of bringing it together. I don't want to overly mix. I'm trying to keep some of the air in that whipped cream. Just a little whisk and kind of a folding, whisking motion happening. It's a twofer. But I do want to make sure that we've got the egg, kind of incorporated in there. No big chunks of yolk or white that haven't mixed in with our whipping cream. There we go. I'm going to put my whisk off to the side. Now, this is where you get to add some, I grabbed the salt. I needed the pepper. All right. Mix a little salt and pepper. I like pepper, so I'm going to put about 1/2 teaspoon of pepper in. Salt, I can put some in, but you can always, if you're watching your salt intake, put less in. And then if you've got a guest that wants a little more, they can add some salt to the top of theirs. So I probably did about 1/4 teaspoon of ground salt in there. You can mix in herbs that you like. You can not put in herbs at all if you don't want to, but this is a fun way to break some herbs out of your cupboard and put them into use. I'm going to use about a half a teaspoon of marjoram, one of my favorite little kitchen herbs, and some tarragon. This particular brand of tarragon is a little bit bigger in the leaf structure, so I am going to take about half a teaspoon out, and then I'm going to crush it in my palms just to make it a little bit smaller. There we go. So it can spread throughout the egg mixture. There we go. So I'm going to get my herbs out of the way. Oop, I forgot to put somebody's lid back on. So about a quarter teaspoon to pepper, a quarter teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of whatever herbs you like, or none at all, each in there. And then I'm going to use my little spatula, and again I'm just going to incorporate those a bit. They're going to get a better mix here in just a moment, but I'm going to give them a head start here. All right, and then of course we've got some vegetables off to the side. I like to load my strata with a bunch of vegetables. So I've got green and red bell pepper. You can use some sun-dried tomatoes. You might just drain off and, squish out some of the liquid so you don't have water masses. I've also got some chopped up spinach here. In one of our other cooking demos, we talked about how you can put spinach in almost anything. I love to add a little fresh spinach to my strata. Again, it sneaks in some extra fiber, fiber and vitamins, into the dish. Makes it a lot of fun. Adds another color as well. I like to make colorful stratas, especially in spring. If you're needing something for an Easter brunch or just kind of a casual Sunday morning get together, or getting to see family for the first time and want to do something that maybe feels a little bit special, but it isn't a super amount of work. This is a fun kind of main course to serve. They got fancy scrambled egg omelet that you didn't have to spend a lot of time making a bunch of individual ones. Just kind of make one big egg dish so that you can enjoy your company. Okay, so we mix those in there. Got a couple more things I'm going to add in. So a little bit earlier, I caramelized about a quarter of a red onion, and then I threw in some diced ham. Got it browned just a little bit here, and I'm going to scoop those into my bowl. Ooh, there's some yummy bits right there. I'm going to get the ones that are sticking to the spoon out. There we go. And once again, I'm going to mix those in here just a little bit. Just add a little bit of smoky goodness. My family's big on their breakfast meats. You could do bacon. You could do some crumbled up breakfast sausage that was cooked up. Anything you want. A combination of it. You could make it all meats if you've got a lot of men in the family who maybe are vegetable avoiders, but they like their breakfast meat. You could certainly just do a montage of bacon, ham, and crumbled up cooked breakfast sausage if you wanted to. The last thing I'm going to add in here, I've said it once, I'll say it again, we're a bunch of cheeseaholics in my family. It's definitely one of our vices. So I've got some shredded sharp cheddar. You could do Swiss, you could do Gruyere, you could do, whatever your favorite cheese is with the additional add-ins that you're using. I put about 3 handfuls in there. Now I'm just going to give it one kind of final stir to get everything kind of incorporated. And the vegetables that were put in raw, I like to do my peppers and the spinach not cooked. You could put them in with the ham and the onions, but I like putting them in raw because then to me they still have a bit of bite to them as they bake in the egg. in the oven, which is we're going to get the pan ready to do that. All right, so it's kind of nice and mixed up there. So now our baking dish. I'm going to use a 9x9 baking dish, not a ditch, a dish. And there's a couple things you can do. You can just use spray, you know, your favorite non-stick spray if you like to. I find that the egg does like to stick to the pan through that. So I'm just going to use a little olive oil so I can kind of coat it maybe just a little bit thicker. In my opinion, this also helps the edge crust up a little bit more. There we go. You could put a bit of parchment paper down on the bottom if you really wanted to avoid the sticking, if you wanted it to just, you know, be able to turn out, and if you were doing a fancy presentation. But that works for me. Alrighty, so now it's a matter of pouring everybody in to our 9-inch pan here. Now yours might not look as big if you don't put in all of the spinach. With the spinach, it will cook down because of course that spinach will lose some of its volume. So don't panic. It's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just that's what cooked vegetables do. They kind of deflate a little bit. All right, so just use my spatula to kind of make sure the ingredients have been distributed throughout. And then just kind of pat it down, make sure if there's any air bubbles that kind of were created when I did the plopping get pushed out. All right, there we go. All ready to go in the oven. I do have my oven preheating. I like to start it at 325. Lets it get, I feel like, you know, cooking longer at a lower temperature helps it cook more evenly. Because I don't really like it when the edges get done at one texture and then the center is softer. So 320. So I cook mine a little bit longer than some recipes say. All the recipes will say 400 degrees, 25-30 minutes. You can certainly do that. I'm going to start at 325. I'm going to go for about 15 minutes. And then I'm going to bump it up to 400 degrees, and then so that'll help it get kind of a nice golden brown, and again get some of those, you know, some people like a crunchier texture on the edges, and that'll get that going. And I'll do that for another 20-25 minutes. All right, this is going to go in the oven, and you'll be back to see the finished product, and we'll talk about what to do with those hard-boiled eggs. All right, so our strata came out of the oven. And it was looking really good there. See, kind of looks like a piece of quiche, except there's no crust. Instead, you get this lovely kind of brown, crispy edge on it. It's like an egg dish. It's got a brown, you know, some people fight over that edge of the brownie because they like the crusty part. Well, it's an egg dish that has that feature to it. So that's what the strata is. And of course, while that strata was cooking, I did let those eggs that I had boiled off cool off, and I cracked them open. And of course, I mean, possibilities are just endless with a boiled egg alone. So with a boiled egg, of course, the hard-boiled egg, you can do a soft-boiled egg. Our hard-boiled eggs, one of our favorite ways to eat them is just to peel it and throw on some salt and pepper. You can add them to salads. You can eat them just as a quick protein-filled snack. Something else my family likes to do is, of course, add them to create an egg salad, or we like to add eggs to our tuna salad and make our tuna go a little bit further. So I did make a little bit of tuna egg salad, and just added some mayonnaise in there. And in our house we have a split between relish yes, relish no. So I did half, and it already got eaten in somebody's sandwich without relish. I added some relish, a little salt and pepper. You can add dill in there if you like it. And of course, with Easter around, what would be complete on an Easter breakfast or Easter brunch without some deviled eggs? So all those fun decorated eggs, what do you do with them? This is one of the things we like to do with them. We like to turn them into deviled eggs. So in a bowl, Of course, we split all of our eggs in half and carefully scooped out the yellow yolk. Put it in a bowl. We added in some mayonnaise. We added in some salt and pepper, a little ground mustard, and I like to add in a little parsley and a little tarragon. You can add in, again, dill. Some people add in bacon bits. You know, there's all kinds, pimentos. There's all kinds of things, all kinds of fun fillings you can do with a deviled egg. And of course, we like to sprinkle some smoked paprika on top of ours just to make it fun. So I put those ingredients in a bowl and I mushed them all together, and I just did a little sprinkle of the herbs and spices, not a whole lot. The mayo, I just add until you get a nice creamy texture that you like, because you're breaking those yolks apart and just using a fork and blending it together until it makes the creamy consistency that we enjoy. And I like to stick it all in a piece of wax paper that I rolled into a cone and turned into a pastry bag. And now I did forget to bring a pair of scissors over, so I'm just gonna cut the tip of my little bag that I made off and scooch all that filling down to the end of the bag. And then I'm just going to sit here and start piping it into my eggs, or what's left, the whites of the egg here. And of course, these become a nummy treat that we like to have at the center of our table for Easter, and well, let's just face it, many a family gathering. They can also be just a fun treat to do for lunch. You can make up a half dozen and just add them to your lunch repertoire for the week. You can do a little fancy addition to a picnic or to a potluck. I know that eggs have always been the star of our potlucks at the senior center, and people always want to take more than one, so sometimes we have to put limits on it just to make sure people get a chance to get one. There you go. So all kinds of things you can do with eggs. The incredible, very edible egg. And hopefully you've been inspired to play with some eggs yourself. Not just those plastic ones that you can put candy in to go hide. Those are good too. But take a shot, break out a carton of eggs. For all the protein they offer, they certainly do provide a punch and a eclectic blend of opportunities. So break them out of just baking, break them out of just scrambling or frying them up, and maybe try one of these in the near future. In the comments, of course, please feel free to share your favorite egg recipe or how you like to fix up your deviled eggs, what additions you like to add into them, or how you like to add them to your tuna. What's your special little touch and take on these recipes? Because of course, they're a lot of fun, and even more fun when we share our fun and clever ideas. So there you go. There's your choice today. Some tuna salad with egg, a little egg strata, or some deviled eggs. I hope you guys have had a lot of fun with this. We'll see you soon, hopefully. Take care. From the Lebanon Senior Center, we're thinking of you.